Hey everybody, welcome to Real United States, and we are here at the United States Treasury Building. Now, this, you may recall, is not the original Treasury Building, but we'll get to that in a minute. The United States Treasury Building, of course, the headquarters of the financial arm, if you will, of the United States government, headed by the Secretary of the Treasury, and has such interesting branches as the Internal Revenue Service, which collects taxes, of course. The Treasury does not print, make coin money. They do that through their branches. Again, the coinage of money is done by the United States Mint, and the printing of paper money is done by the Bureau of Printing and Engraving. Both are in separate parts of the city here in Washington, D.C. Mostly this is an administrative facility and always has been. As administrative folks doing their jobs, it has records, those sorts of things. Originally, the Treasury Building, of course, was about a half a block further down 15th Street, behind where the camera is right now, at the end of Pennsylvania Avenue, so that the Capitol Building and the Treasury Building faced each other. And that original building was built in 1804, but of course was lost in the War of 1812, when in August of 1814 it was burned by the invading British troops, along with the Capitol Building and the White House, which is this little white structure right over here. If we pan over there just a little bit, that is, of course, the White House, the home of the executive branch of the United States government. The building that you see behind me was placed here and was built over the course of 33 years, starting in 1836, took till 1842 to construct. It is a Greek Revival style. It is the third oldest federally occupied building in the United States, and therefore, after the White House and the Capitol Building, which makes it the oldest departmental structure in America. And it may be deceptive. It's a huge building, but it's even deeper than it is wide here. So it's a very large stone building, and because of the fact that it is so old, it has influenced a lot of the architecture of the main buildings here in downtown Washington, D.C. Now, when the British attacked, by the way, in 1814, they were hoping to actually find money or something of value, and instead all they found was records. And so that's why I say, this is not a bank, it's not a depository, it's not Fort Knox where they store gold. It is an administrative building. It is, however, responsible for the collection of money that comes into the government and the disbursement of money that is spent by the government. Obviously, huge numbers, and I'm sure we're all aware of that with tax day coming up here in a couple of months. Now, of course, you could probably see, although it's difficult at distance, we're at the large bronze statue of Alexander Hamilton. We're going to do a separate episode about him. I think he deserves his own episode. He was, of course, the first treasurer of the United States under President Washington. As a side note, for those of you who might care, the first treasurer, or the first person to carry the title treasurer of the United States, was Michael Hillegas. Now, Hamilton, of course, his picture is on the $10 bill today, the Federal Reserve note. Prior to the enactment of the Federal Reserve Act, Michael Hillegas's picture was, in fact, on the $10 United States note. So a little bit of trivia for you. And I don't know that there's really a great deal else about the building. Obviously, it's, like I say, it has a huge impact on all of this Greek Revival architecture here. But it's, and interestingly enough, if you walk down the side of the building, the lower floor is set about half in the earth. And of course, there are windows above the earth, and they have these huge, like inch and a quarter, inch and a half solid steel bars over the windows, which is, it's a little bit of overkill because there's really nothing other than furniture and computers, I suppose, of any real value in that building. And of course, the people. So it is well protected for a building that does not actually house any financial assets for the United States. Now, I had mentioned how substantial the bars on the windows were. This is like a 3/4 inch steel plate frame, and these huge bars, which are easily 1.25 inches in diameter, solid steel, set in granite in the side of this massive building. Everything about this building is huge. But anyway, that's the bars that are on the windows here on the lower level. And if we pan up a little bit, you can see these gargantuous Greek Revival columns that are above me, which are, you know, a couple of feet in diameter or so, somewhere between 24 and 30 inches in diameter, and just massive, massive big pillars. So that is the bars that I was talking about. It's a beautiful building, and of course, like I say, just across the street, although this street now is closed, this is just for government use between this street that's between the White House and the Treasury building here. Of course, the United States flag flying vigilantly on our government buildings. So anyway, that is pretty much it for the Treasury building here in Washington, D.C., next to the White House. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you got questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below. I love hearing from everyone. I try to get back to everyone that I can. If you're new here, hey, pick subscribe, come along for the adventure. We got lots more to show you. And as always, thank you for watching.